Hello and welcome to my new YouTube video. So, what am I going to be talking about today? Well, I'm going to be talking about why I really cannot stand the term differently abled. So, as a disabled person, so my disabilities, if you are a new subscriber, or as a reminder, are autism, epilepsy and dyspraxia. So, why do I not like the term differently abled? Well, I think because it's actually rather patronising and takes away from any of the struggles and achievements that I or other disabled people may make. I think that's probably because, like, differently abled, like, everybody has different abilities, whether you're disabled or not. So there'll be a lot of disabled people who are better at certain things than I am. But there'll be certain things I just don't know how to do. That some disabled people will be really good at, whereas maybe they don't know how to do some of the things I could do reasonably well. That's just sort of a human thing, isn't it, really, I think, and it just seems very strange to just not say the word disabled, disabled or disability, then it's not like a dirty word or a swear word or anything, it's just a description of, well, I suppose it is a label, but anyway, I think it's just a fact about me, it is a part of me being disabled, definitely, because it's not all of what I am, but it's a part of me, definitely. Because you can't actually it's something you can't really ignore or not acknowledge. It has to. It's just there as a part of you. So that's another reason. But I think just the main reason for me is this whole thing of everyone has different abilities. So everyone is good at one thing, bad at another, and therefore, because society makes it harder for disabled people to achieve and things, but also actually because the disabilities themselves do as well sometimes. It's a combination of both. So, say, for example, let's let's list all of my disabilities and why a combination of both. So, sensory overload, that can be an autism thing, and whilst a good societal change might be for when we could go to restaurants and things, which we can't at the moment, obviously, but when we could, maybe a good idea for them would be to try and invest in furniture and furnishings that absorb the sound of everyone talking at the same time when it's really, really busy. But equally, if there's lots of people, it's really crowded, that's not really going to that's going to cause me quite some stress, but that's not to do with society necessarily. That's just busyness, everything gets busy sometimes. So with the dyspraxia, I think people should be more patient, and people should understand that with my motor skills and my hand-eye coordination, there are some things I will do a lot slower or won't be able to do at all. But equally, I think I will continue to do them slower anyway, and I think although patience would help, it doesn't take away from the fact that it's something I struggle with. But on the other hand, making that societal leap with more patience and more understanding would make that easier to cope with. So epilepsy, with that, so when I have my seizures I can be quite ill afterwards, so there's maybe people might expect a bit too much of me straight away afterwards, and if there was more of an understanding of that it's not always the case, or not the case, then that would be good. But even with that, it would still disable me, because that's still a result of the epilepsy. So it's a combination of both society and the sort of effects of the disability on me and my body. It's not one or the other, I don't think, personally. Which all comes back to this whole concept of why the term differently abled is bad, because I think that it doesn't really include those issues in terms of its meaning. I don't know. I mean, I just wish people would say disabled. I don't understand this thing where it suddenly becomes some kind of issue, because I kind of feel like it probably increases the stigma on disability as well, to a certain extent. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Because of course, if someone's not prepared to say the word disabled, then maybe they're not necessarily going to be prepared to say the diagnosis, or they'll describe the diagnosis as a label. So I think a diagnosis and a label are two separate things, but I think that's a discussion for another video for now. So anyway, that's it for today, this time, and I'll see you again, or you'll see me again, because I don't see you through the